All right, guys, welcome back to the Real South Africa, your travel and tourism to South Africa. If you're looking for an amazing adventure, then just reach out to us and we can sort you out. We got this family here who came with us and took advantage of what we have. So check out their interview. All right, guys, welcome back to the Real South Africa Travel and Tourism. We are an amazing travel and tourism company here in South Africa. Obviously, we're the owners of the company. If you haven't met us, if this is your first time, obviously you can like and subscribe to what you're seeing because it's going to be a little different than what you're used to, and so forth. We're not going to do the five top things that people like when they come to South Africa and all that. So we're going to actually, because we actually do tourism, we actually bring people. Am I right, Tasha?
We do bring people to South Africa, and I said that so fast. We do bring people to South Africa.
Yeah.
And we do it in a very precise and strategic way. We just do it that way because it honestly just makes sense. You hear me say it all the time. If you're going to fly this far, you need to have a proper experience. And we've been doing this now for 8 years, and we've been getting better every year, bringing more people every year. And again, like, share, subscribe, go to our website, look at what the opportunities are. There's about 22 packages. So there's one that you will find for you. But yeah, that's who we are.
Okay, so without further ado, what I want to do now is we bring a lot of people, and just recently we had several people here on their private journey. So it wasn't a scenario where they were in a big group and they got to kind of like put up with the other people in the group, and like all these different things. They actually got a chance to come and as a small part of their family and come and see it for themselves, and that's what we provide on our tour. So without further ado, I'm about to bring them on board. So here we are. There they are. That's the McZeals.
And Robinson. We're not gonna. We're gonna let you guys just introduce yourselves and just tell your story. Wherever you want to start. You can start at kindergarten if you want to.
Kindergarten.
Well, we're not going to go back that far. That'd be pretty long. So first and foremost, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Clarence McZeal. Greeting you all from sunny Southern California. Sitting here with my wife, Iwanya, who is sitting to my left, and my sister, Pam, who is sitting to my right. The reason why we're here this morning is just to chronicle the outstanding time that we had on our recent visit to South Africa, and just the excellence that was presented to us by the realsouthafrica.com, which really made the trip special. So they've invited us to come on and speak and just kind of talk about our experience, and that's why we're here this morning. So thank you for having us, Mark and Natasha.
You're very welcome.
So tell us, why did you guys come to South Africa? Why? What happened?
Well, Pam, you can tell your portion too.
Well, I want Clarence to talk about the just how we were divinely led, and I'll just say that. When you're divinely led, you want to make sure you're obedient. And when God tells you something, and you just take the next steps, it's amazing how He unfolds the whole vision. And so Clarence got the direction and the divine order, and we followed suit, and we were blessed beyond measure. I just have to share with you guys that my heart, you see, this is the dress I bought in Soweto. This is my Soweto.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes, I had to wear it. I'm going to church today. I had to represent my people because my heart is still there. I'm here, but I'm still there. Haven't really totally come back yet. I go through my videos, my pictures. I am going to be talking to several of my accountability partners, just kind of about this. We call it a vibe here in California. I don't know if you guys know that, but that's kind of the buzzword right now is, hey, it's such a vibe, here. But there was something different there. It was, when they talk about the Ubuntu spirit, I think maybe that's what I was experiencing. But I felt like through this trip, I experienced something that is really, I'm still really trying to explain. One of the things that jumped out at me, and I've watched your videos, I'm like still watching the videos because I still feel like when I watch your videos, now that I'm back, I still have a connection to you two, and I have a connection to our experience. And so one of the things you said, Mark, that just has stuck with me, we traveled well. And you said, if you want to come to South Africa and you want to come and travel well, that's what you do. And I can honestly say, as Clarence just, we traveled well, and we want to thank you.
Well, we truly appreciate and that you heard the clarion call, to do so. I know a lot of us, we want to travel well. We don't have any real direction. Sometimes we don't even know what that even looks like. What is that? Is it just a possible move from a Holiday Inn to an Embassy Suites? I mean, like, what does that look like? You
Right.
know, so so we actually provide that up front, as part of it. So we just don't say it just to say it. We are literally like, because again, we travel. I've been traveling for hundreds of years, feels like, and and when I travel, I like certain things, and so I feel the people that come with us, we want you to have certain things. It just has to be a certain way, and that's the way that we see it.
We just think that we say it all the time. If you have worked as long as you've worked, I know, Clarence, I think you're newly retired. Um, and if you've worked that hard, if you have lived that long, and you've gotten to the point where you retired, then you deserve to have an experience that is worry free, stress free, where everything is thought out for you. Um, and we appreciate those things for ourselves when we travel. And I just think other people should have that experience, especially from people that look like them. They should be experiencing those types of excellent things.
Yes, yes.
And when you said worry free, um, you know, I mean, we didn't know what to expect. So, when we came there, okay, well, is the driver going to, you got all these things going on in your head, and everything just kind of flowed smoothly. We were in communication with you every morning. You guys sent us a itinerary of what was going to happen, be here and be there, be there. And when we were there, guess what? The people were there. They showed up. They did their job. They were professional. They were nice. They were very knowledgeable. And we just had to sit back and relax. That's pretty much all we had to do, was sit back and relax and let them do their thing. They were just telling us, hey, welcome home. Now,
Yeah.
now that you're home, welcome home. Now sit back and relax, and we'll take care of you. And that's truly what happened. So when you guys say that, there's no point of reference for some people, so they don't understand. They don't understand that you're going to be pampered and taken care of. But when you get there and everything is just taken care of and everything just flows and happens, you're like, wait a second. Now I know what they're talking about. So that's the frame of reference right there. So just piggybacking off of what my sister said, that was truly a blessing.
Yeah. It's like, we got you. You're here now. We got you. And that's how we felt the whole time. You got us.
Absolutely.
Iwanya, you're sitting pretty quiet.
Well, for me, the trip was amazing. I think, well, I mean, I'll just explain. This was the first very long flight that I was going to take. And the year kind of didn't start out like the greatest because I lost my mom the day after New Year's. And so for me, when my husband started to talk to me about this trip, I was still, I needed to lay my mom to rest. There was just so much going on, and I was in my school year. I'm a special ed teacher. There's meetings all the time. It was just overwhelming. And so I kept telling him, I can't talk about this right now. But as I'm telling him this, I'm trying to just process the idea of that many hours and that far away, and oh my God. But firstly, once he said, to me. He just kind of sat me down once the school year was over and I was able to kind of talk about it. And he said that, you know, this was the direction from the Lord and the Lord doesn't steer him wrong. Something like inside of me just kind of settled down and said, okay, well, we're going on this trip. And so, yeah, I mean, it was amazing from start to finish. I was worried about the flight, but all of our flights were smooth. Our landings were amazing. When we got there, you know, our driver was waiting for us and he brought us to the hotel. And that was the experience we had the entire trip, to echo what my husband and my sister-in-law are saying. And so now, you know, being back home and at my job, you know, we had our teacher work day Friday and we are able to submit pictures from our summer vacation. And so I had all of my pictures like turned in from South Africa and they're on the big screen. And people that I know saw them because I posted on social media, but I had several people approach me. Oh my gosh, you went to South Africa. Like that's a bucket list destination for me. And I'm telling them about the trip and I can feel myself just beaming from ear to ear because it filled me in such a way I'm not sure I expected. So it was amazing.
So I'm under the impression that your pictures outshine the other people's pictures that presented.
She's like, what can I say?
Oh, that horrible husband. I don't know.
Where did he come from?
Outstanding. And it is so funny because, you know, in our community, you guys are in the West, and I'm talking about like not in the West, like the U.S. and all that, like the West, like the U.K. and all that, but y'all like in the West of the West, in California, and you know, I don't know how. I mean, I know. Some of you guys are history buffs or history teachers and things along that line. I'm not going to point any fingers over there on the right side, but these are places. First of all, we don't supposed to be going in our community. We don't supposed to be going to Africa. We just don't supposed to do it. And unfortunately, I think sometimes our South African counterparts or our friends here are like, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" And I'm like, God, I know y'all hearing it from me, but there's a few million of us that we get taught that from early on till whenever. So now that you've been to South Africa, educator, person, I mean, tell me, has anything changed, or is it just, you know, status quo?
I feel like a lot has changed. I think I was, when we met with you guys, I was talking a little bit to Latasha about when, you know, Nelson Mandela was freed from jail and he ran for president. And, you know, you have this image of what Africa looks like on television because for us in the middle of the night, they're showing, you know, videos of starving children. And that's the image that you have, that it's just people are starving and nothing is there.
Dirt roads,
yeah.
huts.
And when Pat Harvey had gone from our local news channel to South Africa, and when you're looking at the lines of people lined up to vote and you're looking at the city and the skyline, it looked just like downtown LA to me, which was surprising compared to what they show us on, you know, the news. And so I feel like I had a pretty decent perspective of what it was going to look like, but it really was more than that. And I just felt so excited and ready to like share the pictures once I got back, because I never share anything while I'm not home. But it's interesting also because as I'm sharing the pictures and I tried to chronicle things in order, you know, I had people like, well, where's the animals? And I'm like, it's so much more than animals. You have no idea. Like, I mean, the animals, that was in the middle of our trip and it was magnificent. It was amazing. It was everything that you think it would be and more. But then there's so much more on both ends of that you really need to understand about South Africa.
Excellent.
So when we say stuff like, you know, in our videos, that you just need to come see it for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's 100% true. I mean,
100%.
that's understated.
100. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
understated.
Yeah.
You got to come and see it for yourself, and that's really the only way you're going to be able to wrap your head around, the experience that you're going to have.
Yeah.
And I'll say one more thing too, Mark. It's just that when I first started to try to think about how we were going to go there, I thought that you guys only did like travel tourism as far as like real estate tours, because that's what I was watching mostly. And so I'm looking at the real estate tour dates and I'm thinking, well, my wife is working, so, we can't make it like, in February or October. And then I started to listen. I started to understand that you guys work around and you guys schedule and set up whenever you want to come. So a light bulb went off in my head. And I'm like, okay, well, we can schedule a trip, during the summer. We can schedule how many days. We can schedule where we want to go. If we want to go see some real estate, we can schedule that all in. So I think some people may be under the misnomer that they only travel within certain times. And it kind of took me a minute to understand that you guys customize everything.
Yes.
So everything was customized. We wanted to do certain activities and you guys worked that in. So everything was customized. So if you're sitting at home and you're thinking, well, I can only travel during these dates or that date, you could travel whenever you want. You could set up your own times, get there whenever, and they will customize the whole experience for you.
For me, the word I was telling my coworkers, eyes are just looking at me and I'm like, they curated experience for us.
Right.
Our whole trip was
word.
Curated and tailored to exactly what, we needed and what we wanted. And I even explained, and they do shopping and, spa tours, and they can make it whatever you want. I said, but when I talk about, the private transport and that the people who drove us places weren't just drivers, but there were guides who, as soon as we got in the car, started educating us on everything around us. It just was so fulfilling and meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of our drivers, as Iwani was saying, he was, talking about, like she said, the historical perspective. And it just so happened we were headed to the Apartheid Museum that day. So we pull up and he's been talking to us about the, historical perspective. We get out the car and he continues right along with us. And I'm looking like, wait a minute, he's also the tour guide. He walked us through that entire museum.
For hours.
We were there for several hours.
Yeah,
and he
incredible.
said, I love what I do. And we could tell because he was very knowledgeable. The Apartheid Museum was amazing in and of itself. It's an experience. You feel it. And when you look at the history of the struggle and the apartheid struggle in Soweto being ground zero, we can relate back to our ground zero in the South and how they're parallel to one another, But yeah, he just walked us through that whole museum. And we had such a wonderful engagement. And I really like the fact that, the drivers show up with the realsouthafrica.com badges. So as soon as they hit that lobby, we see the Real South Africa badge prominently displayed.
Yeah.
They're very proud of that. We were like, okay, it was wonderful. And they were always there prompt ahead of time. They were waiting on us.
Yeah.
I love that. I love
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
because they knew you guys flew all the way from California. That's a long way.
What do you call it, Clarence? Sunny
Southern California.
sunny Southern California. Okay, I wanted to make sure I got that.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, but we're gonna figure that one out.
Sunny
And you know what's cool? Other than the elevation, the weather was so similar to Southern California. And it was dry because of the elevation and the difference.
Yes.
Because I believe it's like somewhat of the elevation, somewhat like Colorado would be in the United States. But as far as it was, maybe high 50s, and this is wintertime for you guys, high 50s, 60s at night, and maybe
67,
mid 70s during the day. Perfect weather, not a cloud in the sky. Everywhere we went, it was like, the weather was tailored for us too. So
Yeah, we love that.
That was divine too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. I take that.
So Pam started by saying she wanted you to tell the story about the divineness of how you ended up in South Africa. So I know you gave me a short version of it, but I'm pretty sure there's a version that you haven't told that I think a lot of people would be interested in if they're feeling that little pull. And I'm certainly interested in. So I'm definitely interested in hearing you tell about how you guys actually ended up here.
Oh, absolutely. Well, long story short, you know, due to the fact that of my job, being a leader in my home, and just the responsibility that I have as a man, I'm always trying to be on my knees, always trying to ask the Lord for direction. He's had his hand on me during my law enforcement career, came out without a scratch, even though I've been involved in many life or death situations. And so I just know that the Lord has his hand on me. And when you have a relationship with him and you ask him a question, you ask him something, you expect an answer. And so we all know what's going on here in the United States with the politics. And you talk about, you know, with us being from the West, you know, right now, sometimes we feel like it's a wild, wild West over here. And what I mean by that is there's just so much going on regarding immigration and laws being changed and the fights between, you know, red and blue states. And so I, I'm not the type of person who is very anxious or, you know, sits on the edge of my seat watching the news and doing all that kind of stuff all the time. So I tried to be prayerful and mindful regarding what was going on with the politics and respect everybody's point of view and, you know, those things. But when I started to see some of the things that were going on regarding some of the shootings by ICE, and not just the fact that officers were getting in shootings, but the fact that they were not being investigated. And they would say, well, you know what, you know, this happened and this is what you saw and there's nothing else to see here. And so being from a law enforcement background, I know that when someone is involved in any kind of life and death incident, especially a shooting, police officers are put on administrative leave pending a further investigation. But when I see an incident and it happens and they're telling you to look at it one way, and then when you look at the video, you see it another way, and then they're telling you, well, there's nothing to see here. This is the way it happened. You're like, but wait, you know, no, there's nothing to see here. There's no investigation. That alarmed me. And so based upon that and several other things, the pardon of certain individuals and just things that were going on, I realized that I needed to get on my knees and ask for direction from the Lord. And so that's what I did. So coming into the new year, I fasted and I asked God for direction. And I, you know, once I ask, I expect him to answer. And so after my fast, it just seemed as if I was being directed towards South Africa. Now, mind you, I had never considered going to South Africa. I had looked at, you know, just videos on YouTube regarding Ghana, Nigeria, and some different places. But for some reason, South Africa never popped up on the screen. And so as these videos started coming up, I started seeing Mark. I started seeing Latasha. And these videos are coming up and I'm looking at them. I'm like, wow, this place looks awesome. You know, this is somewhere where I'd like to visit. And so on that note, I just started going down, I wouldn't say a rabbit hole, but I started enjoying the videos and really started enjoying watching you guys and listening to your testimony and seeing the people that had visited and moved there and their thoughts on the continent. And again, being African American, as far as I know, none of our people in our immediate family had ever set foot back on the continent since the day our ancestors left. So that started to weigh on me. And so so I'm waiting for the Lord to talk to me. And I kind of get a notion to call a friend of mine by the name of Kyle Campbell and ask him if he wanted to go to breakfast. So Kyle and I meet up and we're sitting there and we're talking, you know, family, politics, different things. And all of a sudden he brings up his brother and how his brother was planning on retiring possibly in South Africa. And that just came up out of the blue. We hadn't talked about South Africa and hadn't mentioned anything. And so as we're talking about his brother and his brother's experience in Johannesburg, he also mentioned that he knew some people that moved to South Africa. He said that he had friends, Jackie and Arthur Hartz, and they had moved to South Africa. And so I asked them how they enjoyed living there. And he said he thought they loved it. And I asked him if he could put me in touch with Arthur because I had some questions regarding South Africa. So he put me in touch with Arthur. And lo and behold, I found out not only had Arthur taken his trip and tailored his experience through the realsouthafrica.com, but that I had been watching him on video for several months and didn't even know it. So I'm watching this man and didn't even know I was watching, somebody who I was going to be speaking with and interacting with, shortly. So made that connection, was able to talk to him. He solidified, some of the questions that I had regarding, your company and, how professional you guys were and all that. So, based on all of that, I went and talked to my sister. I'm like, hey, listen, this is what's going on. And, I'm thinking about taking a trip to South Africa. Are you down? And so we talked and chit chatted. I told her what the Lord was telling me. And she was like, well, if that's what, the Lord is saying, he's going to provide. So he provided everything, the money, the time off for everyone, the days, the avenues. And so, he put us on the road and we got on the plane and we came.
Well, remember, I told you when we started talking about it that I was watching the same videos. Right.
Yeah.
So we were not talking, but I was watching the same videos apart from him. And I had started, God just led me and I was watching you guys and your videos. And at some point in time, we started talking about, hey, have you seen these videos coming out of South Africa? And I was like, you seen them too? And we both had been watching your videos apart from one another. So when I shared that with him, that I'd already started watching the videos, I was already kind of, curious and definitely, open. He was like, it was almost like kind of that witness you need. Sometimes, when you still need a witness, that was his witness. I was his witness. And I was like, okay, let's do it.
And so another part of that witness too was, again, my wife said or talked about her experience and what she was going through at the time. And just right after the New Year, her mom passed. And so with all of this going on regarding my new awakening to South Africa, we were preparing to bury her mom. And so she had a lot going on, school, all of that, her mother's final arrangements, the whole nine. And so with all of that happening, the Lord just kind of worked it out to where all of us were comfortable at a certain time. So she was comfortable after we talked about it and I told her everything that the Lord was talking to me about. She, went in her prayer closet and she's comfortable with the trip, although she doesn't like to fly. So, she really worked that out and got on that plane because I wasn't too sure about how that was going to happen. But hey, you know what? The Lord worked it out and she got on that plane like a trooper. And
Sure
I think that, that the experience, even the flight, some people are looking at the flight and saying, I can't be on a plane that long. Listen, get your noise canceling headphones, download some videos, make sure you got enough room in front of you on your flight in order so you could stretch your legs out. So spend a little extra money on the ticket and you're going to close your eyes and go to sleep and watch whatever videos are on their entertainment system. Next thing you know, you're going to look up and you're there.
For me, it wasn't that simple. I had to have a couple conversations with some of my coworkers that I know have traveled internationally multiple times because I'm like, I don't want to be the person on the news that they had to land the plane for early because I like freaked out on the long stretch of the flight. And so I got some advice and took care of some things that needed to be taken care of. But yeah, one of my coworkers mentioned download movies in case the Wi-Fi is not working. I mean, I asked one of my line sisters, one of my Sans, and she was like compression socks. Like I kind of reached into my like toolkit of people I know who travel internationally regularly, and I'm like, what do you have for me? Because like I need you right now. And so the noise canceling headphones, like I just got little tidbits, and they were all like everything I needed because that first flight, I mean, it was pretty much 4.5 hours to Atlanta and then 15.5 hours from Atlanta to Johannesburg. And I stayed awake going to Atlanta intentionally. And I probably only slept 2 or 3 hours of that 15.5 on the way there. So I had 12, 13, yes, I had 12, 13 hours to kind of, you can only watch Mike so many times, and I've already seen it, 6 or 7 times, but, 1 or 2 movies, and I'm just kind of like, well, what do I do? So it was kind of podcast here, it was music there, it was Audible here, it was whatever I could do to fill the time, because literally everyone around me was asleep. So, yeah, but coming back was another story. But yeah, I wouldn't trade the experience for anything in the world. And to echo what my sister-in-law said on Friday, I was talking to someone at work, and I just said, yeah, I mean, you know how people say they come back from a trip and it's like, take me back. I'm like, I'm feeling every bit of that. Like, take me back. Like if I could have one more month of, summer vacation, like, yeah, take me back. Like I'm just longing for that experience. I mean, the welcome we received from everyone, the love we felt, I feel like the arms we felt that were wrapped around us, some of the tears that were shed from, people in the hotel when we left. I mean, all of that just like stays with you.
Yes.
Well, I would say this, like you said, the people in the hotel, they, South Africans, they feel you.
Yeah,
they do.
They just do. And I don't know why us African Americans kind of like we're not that, I guess, trained in that method, if that's a thing to say. But they because we used to leave. We might be gone, we're not long, 6 months at the most, and we'd come back and we'd go to the same places, and they'll be like, hey. They remember our names.
Yes,
they remember
yes.
about us. And I'm like, hey, I just only met you like 2 times, but they remember everything about you, and so forth. And then going back to what you were saying earlier about like the guides and the drivers and all of this, you got to keep in mind, and because in America, it's one thing, but their story of what happened to them, they're gonna have to, they got to go tell people. It's not really being told like on some amazing, Marvel movie documentary or something like that. People just generally don't know. They know that something happened, but they don't know. So when they get a chance to tell that story and to tell other people, especially who decided to come and visit, they're going to tell you what happened, and so forth, and they're willing to answer your questions and so forth. And I'm not going to say that's everywhere, but I know within our ecosphere of the real South Africa, we make sure that these things are in place. If you need it, there's some that already know. Some people don't want to know, but those who want to know will be able to get that treatment. They will go inside the apartheid museum with you and break it down. And if you're like, well, what does that mean? And I think one of the things that gets me when I go to the apartheid museum is that you look at a museum and you say, okay, and then they're talking about like the dates, because they always have dates for everything, like 1978, 1975, 1984, and I'll be like, oh, that's in my time.
Right. I was in high school. I was here. I was there. So yeah,
Right. And
yeah,
you look at just how recent, that experience was, and the impact of that. And the beautiful thing is also how far they come. When we went into Soweto, which was their ground zero, to see some of the improvements and the great things. They even have a mall there, um, some of the things that it was heartwarming for me, to see that there was positive, good fruit that came out of the lives that were sacrificed and lost. And for me, when I stepped off the plane and into the city, and as we drove and as we went throughout our tours, to see us doing everything, to see us coming up out of the manholes working, to see us up on the electricity poles, to see us in the restaurants, the stores, the hotels working. It was truly heartwarming for me. There was a satisfaction there. And I think we laughed one night. We were at the Signature Restaurant having a beautiful dinner. And all of the waiters, the maitre d', everyone there, the customers, all looked like us, except for the lonely jazz player.
He was amazing.
He was amazing. I think we kind of related him to Kenny G. We started calling him Kenny G because he was that good. But he was the only one, and truly amazing to have that dining experience, because that's not typically the dining experience you have in many of these very, very classy, establishments. So I loved it.
And my oxtails were amazing, like you said. They were falling off the bone. They were.
I told you.
Yeah,
remember
we had to taste her oxtails.
Yes. I went.
Remember when we met? You were like, "Where can I get some oxtail?" I was like, "Well, as a matter of fact, you'll have two choices to get oxtails, but they always fall off the bone. They're so good."
Yes.
I'm glad you enjoyed them.
Yes, loved them.
And speaking of the food, one of the things we all talked about too as we were here, we ate well, because the quality of the food was just, I mean, it's hard to even explain the quality of the food.
Right.
We felt light. We didn't feel bloated. We didn't feel inflamed. And the beautiful thing about the trip as well, staying in the hotel, is you've arranged the breakfast for us. So all we have to do is come downstairs.
And that breakfast was fire.
Everything
on the menu.
Every
Every
and
day.
we enjoyed the buffet, as well as they grind the Americano coffee.
Oh, that coffee was everything.
That coffee was like mind blowing. I mean, every morning I was downstairs, like the first thing, water and coffee.
Yeah.
I want some of that coffee.
After a while, they knew. They would just come.
Oh yeah. By day 3, they're like water, coffee, Americano, milk, and whatever. They know.
They
a little
know.
bit of milk and 1 pack of sugar, and we're good.
Yes,
Okay, all right.
So the food was
I'm
bar.
an American girl too. So
Yeah.
Yes, the food was bar none. Truly amazing. And when I got back, because sometimes you're concerned when you go on vacation. Oh God, I'm going to gain weight. I don't need to gain any more weight. I came back on the scale, not a pound.
I know.
Not a pound.
It's amazing.
We weren't playing. We weren't playing. We ate well. We ate well, and we didn't just eat well because of the quality of the food. We ate well because the way you guys planned things out.
Exactly.
We were able to experience some restaurants and experience some things that if we just came on our own,
We'd have
that
no
we
idea where to
wouldn't
go.
know like where to go, and this, that, and the other. But you guys had the 2 dinners set up for us, and they were both fabulous.
Fabulous.
So it was like the direction and the experience that you guys have had there. You've personally packaged it, and you've vetted these different places, and you said, all right, well, I know people are going to want to go here, so let's set up a relationship with these people here, or set up a relationship with these people there. And then when we walked in, they were like, "Oh, the real
Oh
SouthAfrica.com?
Oh yeah.
Come on this way."
Yep.
And yeah, it's funny because you don't really have a reference point for that.
To know
But
what
when
to
you walk
expect.
in and people are like, "Oh, and it's like, come this way," and they know who you are, they're expecting you, they take you here, they sit you down, they take care of everything, and all you have to do is just give a tip, and the rest of the bill, everything's paid for, and you ate fabulously.
Now that's a vacation.
Yeah, yeah.
Totally.
It's an experience I've never had, and I'm like ready to have it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be honest, I'm like, yep, next time, Cape Town.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already planning our next trip.
Yeah. And we enjoyed, as Clarence and Iwan, you were talking about just the personalization of our experience. We were able to personalize our tour. We had the cultural part of the tour, which was amazing, and we needed that, especially as Clarence said, we're first time, in our immediate family to be on the continent. But we were also able to add things. And the spa was one of them. I'll let Clarence and Iwanya talk about the other ones, but the spa was amazing. And one of the things that I enjoy doing on my birthday each year is I have a spa that I love here in Southern California that I go to. And I, get the package and enjoy the facials, the pedicure, the massage. And so we had a beautiful package at the spa you guys arranged for us. It was a beautiful, all the same things I would normally get at the spa in California. And, just the attention to detail my masseuse paid, to the little things that she found as she was massaging my back. There's a couple of places where I kind of jumped, and I know that I carry stress in those areas. And she was very professional in that she remembered those areas and she would continue, and then she'd work her way back to that one area. And then if I jumped again, she'd like, okay, let me keep going. Then she'd work her way back to that one area until my muscle was relaxed enough and I didn't jump. You don't get that here. You go through the whole massage and they're going to go through it and keep to it and keep to the time that's designated, but they're not necessarily going to really work out. And at least for me, I haven't experienced anything like that. She worked out those kinks. She worked them out. And I'm sorry, what did you say?
No, I appreciate you saying that, because when they, obviously we use the word massage therapist as well in the US, but here I think they take that term therapist very seriously, because they really are giving you a therapeutic massage, because they want you to relax. They want you to have a pleasant experience. They don't want to just get you in there and get you out. If you have a spot that requires attention, they're going to figure out how to make that feel better before you leave. That's their goal. They want you to feel like you had a proper experience and that your body was paid attention to before you leave. And that's
right.
That's exactly how I felt. And I noticed that. I was like, wow, she really stuck with it. And she worked my back until I didn't jump, anymore. And the other thing too, which is definitely, just truly amazing. I mean, the price comparison to what I paid in California to what I paid, what the total was there. Not that, because, you guys had already arranged it. I was literally shocked.
Hey, Mark, because I had to slide over the counter and ask the lady, hey, so, how, I know they already paid for it and all that, but, what would, this type of package, cost, if we had to pay for it ourselves? And she told us, oh, you know what, it's such and such and blah, blah, blah. And so, I got my phone out, started calculating, and the cost difference in what we receive. So I don't have massages and all that kind of stuff too often, every now and then. So I asked my sister, I said, so how much would you have paid for that package, in the United States? Everything we got, the attention. She said, oh, maybe like $500. She said 600
minimum.
Yeah,
Ooh,
in the
that's
United States.
In
When I
California.
in California, when I asked the lady what the package was, and she told me,
Don't
and I
say
was
it.
now tell him.
Don't
Say it. Say it.
Okay,
I'm
you
not
can say it.
it, but it was a fraction. I'll just say that
Yeah.
it was about
Yeah,
a
it was
third.
a fraction.
And the attention that they paid us. The lady who was taking care of my feet, her name was Doris, and she was amazing. See, I remember
Now,
these people because they
and
made
that was a
an
big job. That was if she's working on your feet. That was a big
Ignore
job.
him. Ignore him.
Hey, Mark, I was in law enforcement. I wore boots for 30 years. So,
Yeah,
That's
that
no
was a big
excuse.
job.
We're not letting you off the hook.
so, hey, you know what? They did a job on my feet. They're not too bad, but
So
they
let me
needed some attention.
let me ask one more question.
Yeah.
Pam said it would be, $600 or so. But how long are you at the spa for $600 in the US? Is it about the same 4 or 5 hours, or is it like less time?
It's less.
Okay.
Definitely less.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely less. Because they keep you to that, this like window period. And I think not necessarily just that, it's the time that they like. I think our spa or our massage therapist did like it was 75 or 80 minutes or something like that. It's not they have stages and times, and of course the price goes up the more the time
It's been a
you
while.
ask for. Huh?
She
Yeah.
said it's been a while.
Yeah. So
For my massage in the US, I get them here all the time.
Yeah,
but-
yeah, the price goes up based on the amount of time the massage therapist has to work with you. So your
Okay.
price goes up as a result of that. So yeah, that's how you get into the expense.
Okay.
That's how you get into the expense. And I just enjoyed my massage therapist was Sia, as Sia's Clarence said. We remember their names because the personal attention that they gave was just bar none. And as we think about the people that we enjoyed so much, we remember many of their names. And one of them, our waiter, Wandile.
Oh, Wandile.
Wandile, he's our nephew. He's our nephew.
The first full night there,
Okay.
my husband and I we ate at the restaurant downstairs at the Leonardo. And he was he waited on us that evening. And I don't know, instantly we just connected with him and just started talking to him. And I remember, he and I were talking and he goes, I love your accent. And I go, thank you. I love your accent too. And he goes, I have an accent. And I'm like, yes, you do. But he was just friendly and nice and kind immediately. And then every time thereafter, we would see him and he'd say, oh, I'm working breakfast tomorrow. And we'd see him for breakfast. And so when we went to dinner that night and he said he was working breakfast the next day, I think my husband had mentioned, oh, but you haven't met my sister. Like, she's going to come down and she'll be there. And so she got downstairs before we did. And he had already gone to her and said, the family's coming. My family's coming. So, I mean, he was just amazing. And then the day we went to the spa, we had already decided we were going to go there for dinner that night. It was our last night there before we were going to leave the next day. And I mean, he was there to help us, with dinner, even though we saw him when we went to the spa at 11 just to kind of check on things. So he worked a long day. But yeah, he stayed there just to see us that evening. That meant a lot too.
Yeah, that did.
And he was looking out for us. I mean, he was looking,
Yeah.
and then
He was patrolling, huh?
Yeah.
And he was on it. And not only was he on it, but as we sat there, they didn't try to like rush us away from the table. So the first night we sat there, we ate. He was very attentive. He came. But then we were finished eating and we were watching the game. I'm like, okay, well, I'm used to the waiter coming and bringing the bill and saying, all right, well, time to go, basically. And to go right. Yeah, he's trying to wrap us up. And so Wandili's just going about his job. And I'm like, hey, is he going to come you know, tell us, bring the bill or this, that, and the other. And we waited, and we literally had to ask them, hey, you know what? We'll take the bill now. So they took their time. They waited on us. They were very personable, professional, and they didn't rush us out.
Right.
And the food was amazing. Just the pizza by itself. The first time I took a bite of the pizza, I told my wife, I said, this is the best pizza I have ever had. I said, hands down. Now it was spicy, so she couldn't eat too much of it because I had to fall on the sword. It was spicy, but oh my goodness.
But my pasta with prawns was amazing.
Yeah,
and the garlic bread was light, and it wasn't like heavy, and it was crispy. Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, they season their food
very well.
They season their food, and that was amazing because even the vegetables, sometimes when you go to restaurants, they don't season the vegetables; they'll just steam the vegetables. And you get a steamed vegetable, but they seasoned.
But I feel like the vegetables we talked about it too, were also fresh and not frozen and brought out. And
very much so. Very much.
But what's funny with all this, everything that you guys experienced and so forth. Somebody on that side at some point said, "Y'all don't supposed to be having these experiences."
Yeah.
Right.
You don't supposed to be going to South Africa. Mm-hmm. They got all these issues and all these problems, and even though in the U.S. we're living in the same problems. But and it's okay on that side because it should be okay that these things happen. But they are doing their best to keep us away from these experiences.
True.
That we're having here in the Republic of South Africa. And I guess what I'm trying to say is you had these experiences. You're going to continue to have these experiences. They're hard to forget. You remember the bread that you ate. You remember
the prawns.
You remember
not shrimp.
All these things. It's going to be hard to deprogram you from what you experience. It's going to be hard. So if you saw in South Africa today, ... you're going to be like,
right. But whatever. Whatever. Okay, that might be happening.
Yeah. So there's a lot of buzz right now on social media, and I don't know who's creating it between the Black Americans and the Africans and this whole back and forth. But I am so glad we went to see for ourselves because my experience is nothing what they're, saying on the internet. That's not my experience.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So I just wanted to bring that up because, these things that you guys are experiencing are things that we experience, a lot, and we want our people to be able to say, okay, beyond all of that, let me go see for myself. Now, there are people that look just like us that would be like, I would never. And that's fine. But keep in mind that they're going to be missing out on something that's special.
Yeah, they are. And I feel sorry for them. I really do.
You got to get on it. You got to get on that plane and get there and experience the continent. I know we've talked a lot about our own personal experiences right now, but we haven't really touched on the tours because the tours was like amazing. I'll let my wife talk about the real estate tours that we went on. So one of our objectives was, when we wanted to see some real estate and see exactly what South Africa had to offer. And so I'll let her touch on that a little bit because we had an amazing time looking at the homes.
I was not prepared for that. We did have an amazing time looking at homes. I guess, we watch HGTV a lot, and there's always, I would love this, I would love that. And you don't really know what to expect coming out there in terms of what the homes are going to look like compared to the home that you live in. And I mean, the homes we saw we had 2 tour days for homes, one at the front end of our trip and one at the back end of our trip. And I mean, everything we saw was just amazing. I mean, I remember walking in one house and I'm like, I'm sorry, but like can we move now? I mean, just the environment and I'm going to say the vibe and just the community and the proximity to, the stores and the airport and everything was just amazing. I mean, you didn't feel like you were out in the boonies or somewhere, but I mean, you're looking at, homes with nature around you, with golf courses around you. And the houses were just, I mean, everything that, I feel like, so we did the questionnaire. So obviously, those tours were also curated to our preferences and our needs too. But I mean, everything was pretty much spot on. It was right in the wheelhouse of what we asked to see. And I mean, we've come back and kind of continued that conversation and have just kept looking to see if we can find what we're looking for.
The neighborhoods were immaculate.
Yep.
Immaculate. The infrastructure was all there.
The landscaping we call it curb appeal. Just driving down the streets and you see like the yards and, here we don't have an HOA in our community. So houses are painted all kinds of colors sometimes, but like I didn't feel like I was experiencing that. I felt like, the yards, the lawns were taken care of. That pride of ownership really showed up. And so you're driving down the street and it was amazing. It was amazing to see
quiet communities as well,
people out for a run.
Yes, people walking, it's like, okay, this is wonderful. This is nice.
Yeah.
And not to mention the security. If you try to buy a home here in Southern California on a golf course with that level of security, you're probably going to be starting at $2 million. Easy.
Oh, yeah.
Because, just the security by itself, well, the cheapest house on that golf course
least
is probably
expensive.
least expensive. It'd probably be like $2 million or maybe even higher, because you don't get that kind of experience, especially here in Southern California, without paying a high price. And not only did you get the experience of the golf course, the gyms, the amenities, the pools, the playgrounds, the parks, the cleanliness and the security of the neighborhood, but the houses were beautiful. Right. And many people built the houses to their own specifications. So the houses weren't all different as far as them not looking uniform, but they weren't cookie cutter either. They each had their own kind of personality, and people put their own spin. And even when you drove by and you looked in the garage, you're seeing Benzes, and I even saw a Bentley or different cars like that. So, and then the prices, again, maybe a third of what, you're paying here, maybe even a quarter of what you're paying here for the same level of experience. So, I mean, if you're looking at investing or you're looking at relocating or whatever, you're definitely going to be able to get the house that you want to your specifications and actually above what you would expect for a fraction of what you would pay here in the United States and probably in Europe also. Yeah. So that's something that we hadn't experienced and we didn't know about until you guys introduced us to that side of South Africa, because the infrastructure was just amazing. Yes. Other than driving on the right side of the car and the other side of the road, you could take a snapshot from most places and people wouldn't know that you were in Africa. True. They would think you were in Newport Beach or Irvine or someplace like that we consider high end over here in California. So just touching on that aspect, that was amazing also. And we're trying to explore that further.
Well, it's funny you brought these things up for a litany of reasons. I would say personally, all that happened to us as well. We saw things and we was like, are you freaking kidding me? Right. So it's not like we're special and we just got this, we just happen to have done it X amount of years before you have. Right. So we sat in those seats and we're like, wow. So again, you guys have been back for a little while and the conversation is still continuing, isn't it?
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Like it was yesterday.
Yeah, we're talking about it all the time. And we're trying to convey to our sons, we have a 19-year-old and a 22-year-old,
21-year-old.
21, soon to be 22. And then Pam has a son who's
Hey, but he's 21 now. Just keep that in mind.
right,
She
right.
said he's 21. Okay, just wanted to say.
And we're trying to convey our experiences to them. And there's words, but there's so much feeling behind it that you can't like really convey it.
Right.
They're going to have to go and experience it for themselves. And when they do, they'll realize like what we're talking about.
Yeah.
No,
'Cause it's an
they
experience.
get it quicker.
Probably.
Once you get like a late teen to a 20-something-year-old, they pick it up quicker and they are more free. They quickly figure out like the streets and where to go. They find young people. They move a whole lot quicker than we do.
Yeah, that's true.
They move.
Mhm.
They make friends. They're like, oh, I met this person. She said to meet me here. We're going to the club. I caught an Uber. Like,
Wow.
You're like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, they leave you behind. They leave you behind.
Right.
yeah. So if they come over here and they're together when they come, you guys will be like, make sure y'all are back before 5 a.m.
Yeah. Some craziness.
Yeah, some craziness. Some craziness.
But again, I'm gonna say it again. These are things that they don't want us to see, and there's plenty of us that on that side in California, North Dakota, all these places. Are there black people in North Dakota?
I don't know.
I think I see people.
Yeah.
Right? Because I traveled, and it's so funny. I'll tell you a story later. But anyway, and but we're supposed to not take a look at these things. We don't supposed to know. And these South Africans, especially I'm gonna say the proper South Africans, they went through a lot. That whole Soweto thing that you saw. I mean, there's about, I know it's at least 10 or 11 different major townships here in the Republic of South Africa. They've been through the same thing. And a lot of these people say, well, what about the people in the townships? You got to keep in mind that those people that are upmarket now, or we call it upscale, or living in these places that you saw, when you finally have a conversation with them, they're gonna be like, yeah, I come from the township.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
In less than one generation, they come from the township. On the weekend, all those nice cars that you said that you saw in the garages,
In the neighborhoods.
you go down there on Saturday, they're in the township.
Yeah.
Going to visit their friends, but then on Sunday afternoon, they're all up Kings Highway, leaving Soweto, coming back to their mid-cities and mid-towns and mid-rands and their Santons. So, but the reality is, as you probably are starting to pick it up, they're no different than we are. Not even a little bit.
Very just humble, down to earth, very personable. And of course, like we said earlier, when they hear our accent, they're immediately like, oh, is this your first time to Africa?
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Yeah.
That's all we heard was welcome home.
Yeah.
I mean, so I just felt like, man, this is family, this is family.
And it wasn't contrived either. It was
No,
when they
it's
said
very
welcome
genuine.
home, they were
They meant it.
genuinely saying welcome home.
Mhm.
And they meant it. And you could tell that, they meant it and they were happy to see you, back on the continent.
Very much so. Very much. Very glad that we chose to come.
Yeah. And I wanted to just add to that not only, you guys are amazing at, curating trips, but so like for my husband and I, there was something that was just like a little kind of talked about and thought out and special, but we've been married 26 years now. And, we just talked about things to like kind of commemorate, our years together so far. And so I know that he had seen that you guys had arranged for like a private experience with a person, a jeweler that like works with diamonds and different things like that. That he reached out and asked for that experience to be added into our trip. So I just want to personally say thank you for the flexibility of being able to work that out. And not only was that added in our trip, but I know the question was, what are we going to have to miss out on for this experience to be added? And I feel like he said, Latasha said nothing. I mean, I don't think we missed anything.
Not a
I think we
thing.
still got the full range of experience that we would have had without it. And that was an experience I've never had. I'm already mentally going back there too. But just the fact that, you know, when we met with them and the education even that they gave us about the history of, you know, diamonds and the mines and different things out there. And I'm looking at this one photo, and as she's describing it, it instantly took me to history, but the gold rush in California, and how they were like, on your mark, get set, go, ready to take off to go, you know, discover and pan for gold, was that same, you know, image I got when I was looking at the pictures and listening to her tell us the story. But then, you know, also seeing what a diamond looks like that comes fresh out of the ground and the process that they take or go through to kind of refine it and polish it and make it look like what you want to purchase and what you want to have. I mean, the people there, the service, the quality of service, the communication along the way was just amazing. Excellent customer service. They were very welcoming. You know, you hear these stories about how people make people like us look like in places like that, like you shouldn't be here, or, you know, maybe you can't buy what we have, or we're not going to serve you. Right. We never felt that at all. It was an incredible experience. And then, you know, we had some time to kind of think about, well, you know, what direction to go in. And then when we finally made a decision, they delivered it to us, and that was just excellent service. And we didn't ask for that. That was offered to us, you know. So that was a great, fantastic experience.
And I was with them. And initially, when they said we weren't going to miss out on anything, I thought, oh, well, let me go with them. And I can concur on everything Ivania said. You know, he really wanted to, you know, just give her what she desired, you know. And I thought that was very personable. We learned so much. We saw machines. We saw how they cut the diamonds. We saw all that. And I learned about tanzanite. And tanzanite being only sourced here in the, I mean, not here. I'm in California now, but
I understood.
You know, sourced on the continent of Africa. I got to try on some tanzanite while I was there and really experience the beauty of that gem. And I would say for anyone that is curious about, you know, going to the diamond jeweler, the diamond, go and put it in your trip, because it was definitely a beautiful experience. And of course, I got a chance to enjoy watching them pick out something beautiful to commemorate their 26 and a half years of marriage. And so I congratulate them. And I even told Ivania, my sister-in-law, I said, you know, we came to see the big five. You know, and we got a chance to see the big five on our wonderful safaris. We went for 2 days. But I said, you came home with 2 out of the big 3. And
what
she
is
said,
that?
And so
That's what I said.
I said the big 3 are diamonds, gold, and tanzanite.
Oh,
And you came home with
She
2
made her own
gold and diamond and no
and
tanzanite.
tanzanite. That's the big 3, isn't it? That's what they mine, or is it, or platinum included? So the big 4, what they mine out there: platinum, gold, diamonds, and tanzanite. And so she came home with 2 of the big 3, or if you include platinum, 2 of the big 4. And her ring is beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Well, I will say this: when you guys were talking about how you were going to get it done, I knew that they were going to take care of you anyway, because that's just how they are. And when Clarence sent me the picture, he was like, "Look who's a happy camper." I'm like, "I'm sure she is a happy camper. I'm sure she is."
She's wearing it right now. It's just sparkling all over the place.
I know it, just blinding. We'll once you guys send pictures, we'll send some.
Yeah, but you got a proper African diamond. Everything is
You got paperwork.
paper.
Like, just trying to wrap my mind around the fact that I have a diamond from Africa.
Yes. How?
Even in the
And it was
moment.
designed for you.
I'm sorry.
And it was designed for you. You did that.
And it was designed for me.
Yes.
Like, there's
Custom.
no words to put to even that experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was right there, and between I don't know how their titles specifically, but the actual jeweler who cuts the diamonds, who puts them in settings, he was there working with Iwanya, the wholesaler, the one who actually literally goes out and buys. They were all there working with her. It was truly amazing.
It was
to me. It
amazing.
was almost like God ordained.
Yeah.
And Mark, like you said, this was private. You couldn't just walk up in this place and say, "Hey, you know what? Show me some diamonds."
Right.
The levels of security to this particular location was like, it was like Fort Knox. We were like, when we pulled up, and even our driver was like, "Okay, so he we found the address, and then he went to the security that was at the front, and then he communicated with them and scanned his license and scanned the car and talked some more, and they were talking for a couple minutes. And he got on called upstairs and talked to the jeweler, and then or to the people who were the jewelry people, and then the gate went up, and then when we came to the back, a guy came out and escorted us upstairs to where they were at, and you never would have known that was a place where they sold jewelry, but it was definitely a private experience.
Yeah,
it was wonderful.
Pretty much.
Excellent. And again, that's something that we're here all the time. Like right now, today is Sunday. If tomorrow I need to go have a meeting with someone, I can. If Tuesday at 4:00 I need to go have tea with someone to make sure things go well for whatever we're trying to do for our guests, I can. I'm not in the States flying in, trying to make something happen or doing a nice Zoom call. No, we're here, and because things are relational here, because like I keep hearing you talk about the people who you met, they want to meet you, they want to talk to you. Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you're doing business as well, and we're here. And the good part about it is we got a few years here, so people don't say too much to us anymore. Welcome, because I think we kind of move like South Africans in a lot of ways. And we kind of use the vernacular, so they just assume. I mean, they know we're Americans.
Yeah.
So I think now they get confused.
Yeah, they're like,
"Are y'all from America?"
I love when they say,
"Yeah,
you're South African, right?" And I'm like, "No." They're like, "But you were just raised there, but you're South African, right?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah, because I mean, we as we say in the States, we code switch. We switch.
Right.
Like that.
It's kind of hard not.
Yeah, but I'm super happy that you guys had this experience. Many others should be able to do these types of things. I think hearing your story, because they don't realize that you guys, on their own, guys, don't put it on me, got on at 7 a.m. Southern California time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, I didn't realize it until we came on. They said it's 7:00 in the morning. But they wanted to tell their story.
Yes.
They
I
wanted
appreciate that.
They wanted people to understand that this is what's happening here here with the Real South Africa Travel and Tourism. For some people it matters that we are a Black-owned company, and we've been entrepreneurs so damn long and doing what we've been doing for so long that we don't know how to operate as a mom and pop scenario. So what you run into is the same way we ran our businesses in the States and how we run it here, and so forth. So we want people such as yourself to be able to take advantage of these things. That's basically here for you. And I think overall, like you said, you got a chance to do the diamonds.
You guys had a full
We had a full
we did from shopping for diamonds to watching a lion eat a meal.
you did get to see that.
Yes.
We went on
It
Saturday.
Right.
Yeah.
Who gets to see a
That's
lion tear up a cow's leg?
Did you hear the crunching?
You
Right,
know.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
We were
yeah,
up
we
close
heard
and
everything.
Yeah.
We
Up
got it on
close.
video, so
Up
Oh, good.
close.
Please
and
send
that
that.
we didn't even touch on that, but you know, that whole thing was amazing. You know, just seeing the animals. And then when we went to, so the safari park was amazing. We got to see the hyenas, the leopards, a black
Yeah.
panther, lions, giraffe.
But
you
the
know,
preserve the next day.
yes. Go ahead, babe.
I just my assistant principal called for something, and we were communicating about not a situation, but a situation. And you know, things happen over the summer, but teachers are off contract, and so I said, yes, I saw this email. I said, but I was out of the country, and she says, oh, where did you go? And I told her. And she said, how was it? I said, it was everything you thought it should be. Like I started describing it to her. That day when we pulled up, I said, the place was, it's like a hotel where people are, but you go out on safaris. I said, but when I saw the lady with the leggings and the riding boots, I said, oh, this is legit. Like we're about to, like, we are like going on this thing. So we went, we got like a little blanket, and I had that on my lap, and we got into the vehicle and the van, and they drove us to where we were supposed to go. And then we got into the vehicle for the safari, and it was just so majestic and magnificent. It was all the big adjectives that you could think to describe it. And you're just driving around and you see all these things, and you're spotting, you know, this animal here and this animal here. And then they take you for a snack. You go for a snack, and there's like animals there, and you're just like, wow. I mean, the most beautiful bird perched itself behind Pam, and I have that picture. It's just the most beautiful bird I think I've ever seen.
Toucan Sam.
And then you get back, and you're driving around again, and then you have lunch on the outskirts of this area, and you're hearing frogs, and you're seeing, you know, monkeys and elephants in the distance, and it's just this wide open space. I mean, it was just the most incredible experience, because I'm like, how do you have a full day of a safari? Oh, I understand now.
Yeah.
We
understand
understand.
it now. You need a full day.
Yeah.
You need a full day.
it was
And this was
amazing.
Eagle Eye over here, because she was the one that actually spot the rhino. I would have looked right past him, because you know, it's amazing how God creates these animals to blend in with their surroundings.
Yeah.
As big as they are, you know, in the bush, because we was out there. Honestly, say we was in the bush.
Yeah.
You know, and because we were in an open air vehicle and everything, and I was sending pictures back and video of me and in the open air vehicle. I was like, hey y'all, I'm in the wind. I'm out here in the bush today. And they couldn't believe it. They're like, look at you. And it was incredible to see it.
But there was just the three of you, right, in the vehicle?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Make sure people are doing their
Yes.
stuff.
When you say private,
It was private.
all of our tours were private. So every tour that we took, we had guides. They were professional, and it was just us three. So we saw other vehicles where they had 10, 12 people, 15.
And some personal vehicles, because you're able to drive your own car.
Yeah.
And they offered that. And I looked at Pam, I'm like, that's the experience I think I wanted. Like, I don't want to do it myself and try to figure this out. I need someone with us that is going to like explain it. And that was exactly what we had.
James was wonderful. I remember James.
Yeah.
James, I remember, and he was spotting all kind of animals, you know, and stopping, and
we're
when
talking
backing
on the
us
radio
up
and
and driving us around,
to where the animals were, because all of the guides that were in different places were in communication regarding on the radios. So they were telling each other where different animals were, and so they would navigate over there so we could see, you know, the animals that were out. And then when she said open air too, what she meant was open air cage. So for those, but for those people who who are thinking, and they think that you're just sitting out on the top of a vehicle where a lion could just jump up and get you or something like that, and they're afraid to go to safari. You're very protected and you're very well taken care of. Nothing's gonna snatch you up or anything.
They gave us
like
a bag of snacks that day.
Oh yeah, we got snacks, water,
That was
and juice.
Tuesday. Yep.
That was on Tuesday, and we were like, well, "What?" We were like, like, this is so wonderful. So we were able to snack while we were out there. And we were like, man, the real SouthAfrica.com thinks of everything.
Yeah, you gotta have snacks. You gotta have them.
You need a little lunch.
See, because we've been on enough game drives. Matter of fact, we'll probably be on one tomorrow. Believe it or not.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow. We know what you need. We know what it's supposed to be.
Right.
And so we take no shorts, because if you got somebody, I'm just gonna make up a number. Somebody driving from Limpopo over to the Kruger or over to Northwest, where you guys were. That's a short drive, But I just keep reminding myself as who we are, that these guys are flying 20 hours. 20 hours. I'm not going to allow you, even though I might not have met you prior to come here and look at me in my face and be like, we hungry. We want a snack.
Hey, well, that definitely didn't happen.
Definitely.
Hey, Latasha, and speaking of being hungry, I ate the worm.
You did not.
You did it. Yeah,
I
you
did.
it.
I ate the worm. So
But it was just
like,
salty. It's just salty.
20 hours to come to South Africa and not eat the worm? No. Nobody else wanted to eat it. I ate the worm.
I didn't eat the
And it was salty and it was crunchy.
It was just salty.
I mean, if you had some dip, then it might have been a little bit better. But
One step too far,
sour
Clarence.
cream.
One step too far. We spoke to another couple recently, and I told them, I'm like, I see the worm. I've been here a long time. I've not had the worm, but I know the worm is salty. It looks like it's salty, and I hear that it's kind of meaty and crunchy. And I'm okay with your description. I don't need to.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, we saw him do it.
Yeah.
We saw him do
hey,
it.
so I got a challenge. You know, they do the ice bucket challenge or whatever. I got a challenge for Mark. You got to eat the worm, Mark.
Oh my God.
Well, if I do it, I'm going to do it in a proper place. I'm going up to northern Limpopo. I'm going to be near a baobab tree. These are things that you don't understand just yet, but you will. You will. Yeah. And I'm going to do it in a proper way. I'll probably do it with
I'm not mad at you, bro. I'm not mad. Do it.
And then we will do what we got to do.
You and I will have that shared experience that these other.
So just for a reference point, you obviously are mentioning one particular day, and I think you said it was Tuesday, but I don't think that's really relevant. But you obviously did the private tour with the snack at Lion Safari Park, and then you ate the worm, and this was another experience. So I know you want to touch on a little bit about the experience at Luxe.
Welcome to the Real South Africa Travel and Tourism.
I am Dr. Natasha Blanton.
And I'm Mark Blanton, and the owners. And we have amazing packages coming to Johannesburg. Everything we do is 5-star. Everything is private. And what else, Tasha?
Everything we do is exclusive and made just for you.
So all I can say is go to our website, therealsouthafrica.com. We'll see you here.
Hi there. I'm Trevor Noah, still South African, still a comedian, and still getting questions from all over the world about South Africa. Because I guess apparently I'm the only South African people can ask. Why not ask Black Coffee, Charlize, Elon? Okay, maybe don't ask Elon, but the point is, I've decided to come to our tourism headquarters to answer your questions head on. Questions like this. Why didn't anyone tell me there were so many climates? I only packed for the beach. Well, English Ben 386, then South Africa, we have it all. You can explore majestic mountains, cascading waterfalls, desert dunes, and boundless savanna plains. Here's another one. I thought I was going to South Africa to visit the Kingdom of the Zulu, but it turns out there were so many other cultures I didn't know about. Yes, you're right. This is the Kingdom of the Zulu. It's also the home of the oldest human remains in existence. Imagine that, Amsterdam Sam. You could end up meeting your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents. Now that would be overwhelming. I just spent 10 days in South Africa, eating like a king, living like a queen, and I didn't break the bank. Somebody really needs to talk about how affordable that country is. Will she be traveling? You just spoke about it. Look, another comment. Trevor, are you telling me to visit South Africa just to see a few lions? Well, first of all, who's getting catsy now? Redacted username for legal reasons. But to answer your question, in South Africa, you can do a little bit of this, and some of this, another one of this, some of those, or that. Then you could do that and that, or this, or that. So, whatever vacation you're looking for, South Africa has you. Just don't say we didn't tell you.
All right, guys, this is Mark Edward Blanton from The Real South Africa. And guess what? Our visa services is back. We're going to be helping you guys with visas because we all know that it can be problematic to get a visa here in the Republic of South Africa. So what we have done, we partnered with a big company that will assist us, and we've checked them out. We recommend that their services are very, very proper. Of course, we go with proper here in the Republic of South Africa, and they can assist you. So if you have questions about, do I qualify for a visa? Then that's when we have our consult. You get a consult with these guys. They will literally go through everything with you. And my expectations is for you to ask all the questions that you need to ask so you will know exactly which way to proceed. So they work in every arena of immigrations. So it would definitely help us who are looking to migrate to the Republic of South Africa. And all I can say is first, come on a trip, of course. And once you come on a trip, then you will be motivated to do all the work that needs to happen for you guys to come to South Africa properly. So all I can say is this is a great team. This is a great situation. All I can say is, again, reach out to us at outreach@therealsouthafrica.com. We will respond to you, and then you'll get an email, and then the process has began. Okay, so we will see you guys here properly in sunny South Africa.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. If you like what you saw, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notifications button so you don't miss out on all things The Real South Africa. Thanks again.